Now, the government is not targeting a specific community or religion in the ongoing security sweep. That's according to the Interior Cabinet Secretary Joseph Olelenku, who rubbished claims of ethnic discrimination in the security operation meant to flush out terrorists and their sympathizers. Police have arrested hundreds of people, mainly in Nairobi's Eastleigh area, as they seek to crack down on illegal immigrants in the country. Police have recovered explosives and grenades in the operation that was launched following a steady rise in terrorism-related activities.
I'm delighted that yesterday the Muslim leadership came out very strongly to say that this is not an interreligious conflict. There is no problem between Christians and Muslims and any other people of different faith in this country. And therefore, for law-abiding citizens, they have nothing to worry. But of course, for those who are hell-bent to break law and order, they are guaranteed to get what is due to them. And therefore will not talk much, but we request our young people to desist from involving themselves in criminal activities.
Now, the ongoing police operation to weed out terrorists and criminal elements in various parts of the country enters its second week today, with the operation drawing mixed reactions, especially in Eastleigh, where hundreds have been arrested in police swoops. We are now joined on phone by our reporter Rita Tinina, who is in Eastleigh for the very latest on that operation. Rita, what do you have to tell us?
Well, Najma, early this morning at around 3 a.m., police say they recovered 2 bomb-making materials. One they call a border, another they call a liquid, and these were recovered from the Samad Islamic building. It's a flat on 7th Street in Eastleigh. But they say the man who was handling these materials managed to escape. But we are told he is a 30-year-old refugee suspected to be from the refugee Dadaab camp. Police say they have taken the materials to the government chemist for testing. But while at it, Najma, the operation that you mentioned earlier that began last week, and this followed an IED attack in Eastleigh that left at least 6 people dead. Police announced security measures, then they launched the operation. That operation is continuing. Today, since morning, police have arrested at least 400 people. Najma.
Have you managed to talk to any residents, and what is their take on this whole ongoing operation?
Najma, there is some sense of anger in Eastleigh. On the streets, we spoke to several people, including women who are traders and as well as businessmen, and they are saying that it is a form. They're being harassed by the government. They say they are being asked for their IDs, for their alien cards, and some claim that even when you produce any form of identification, the police still say it is not yours, and you're picked up, loaded onto a lorry, and then taken. Those who have been arrested due to the numbers, they can't even fit in a police station, so they are being taken to the Kasarani Gymnasium for profiling. So in Eastleigh, there is some sense of frustration. Some women we talked to just a while ago saying that their businesses, they sell camel milk, and previously they say they would finish selling the milk by 10 a.m. Now they say by 4 p.m. They still have not sold their day's quota of milk. And so they're saying that most people are now fearing to get out onto the streets. They're saying they can't walk freely, whether it's during the day, whether it's during the night, for fear of being harassed by the police. Najma.
Maybe, Rita, have you managed to talk to any officials of the police to tell us the criteria of conducting the operation, or are they just doing it haphazardly?
Najma, you recall that the internal Interior Cabinet Secretary Joseph Olelenko some few weeks back gazetted what he termed as designated refugee centers. This includes Dadaab and the Kakuma refugee camp, and he said that all refugees must reside only in the designated areas, and those living in areas like EASTLEIGH then must return to the camp. So one of the issues that police are trying to sort out is to get the refugees back into the camps, and this is why they are looking for people to identify themselves, asking you for your ID. If then you produce an alien card, then you're not meant to be living in Italy and you're meant to be in the refugee camps. But as well, police say they are trying to just ensure there is some security. Those people who cannot identify themselves, then they have to explain what they are doing in Italy, what they are doing in Nairobi, and that's why they are being taken for profiling. Najma.
Well, thank you very much. Rita Tinina there, our senior reporter, giving us an update of the ongoing operation in EASTLEIGH. A survey conducted by environmental watchdog Suswatch has lauded the second phase of the Lake Victoria Environmental Management Project as a success among communities living around Africa's largest water body. In the report released in Kisumu, Suswatch says community-driven development projects such as tree planting, fish farming, rainwater harvesting and flood control have contributed to the improvement of the environment, with 98% of the groups receiving funds to conduct their activities in the World Bank's supported project. The highlight of the success story is the decomposition and disappearance of the hyacinth weed that had previously choked Lake Victoria's Wynnum Gulf around Kisumu.
And these baseline survey provided a benchmark to which we're now actually monitoring different indicators. So for this study to be carried out again, we actually based it on the initial study that was carried out, and we could see that there is some level of progress, because the initial state of environment, the way it was initially, up to now, you could see some improvement. So I can actually put it to Lavem that they have actually done a commendable work.
So where do young people go if they are unlucky enough to have failed at the Kenya certificate of secondary education level? While most candidates give up after seeing a D or an E grade, there are those who have persisted and taken a long route to the same career dreams they had. And to show that it can be done, here's the story of Gabriel Musembi. Meet Gabriel Musembi, now an accountant at a hospital in Nairobi County. Ever since he was a child, Gabriel wanted to be an accountant, but he says he almost never got his dream job after he failed mathematics during his KCSE examinations in 2007. However, that did not deter Gabriel. He sought advice from various lecturers.
Sababu hesabu ilikuwa chini na kiwango ya C+ kuweza kumanage kwa CPA. Nikaenda kuanza chini kwa KTC hiyo July 2008. Ikasoma hapo KTC 1, KTC 2, nikamaliza hiyo mwaka ya 2009, nikamaliza, then nikaenda kuingia CPA.
Passed ATC 1, he passed ATC 2, he joined CPA part 1, he passed. Then during those days they were being exempted in section 2. Then he compiled section 3 and 4, which is allowed by CASNEB.
If you know what you want to do after Form 4, you can be looking at the grades that you are looking for, and maths will be one of the requirements, and definitely you'll have to pass in maths. So if you're making it an enemy, it's high time you make it a friend.
Nilienda university wakaniambia sababu nimefanya CPA, nitasoma degree, instead of kusoma miaka 4, nitasoma degree within 1.5. Na saizi by August namaliza my degree in Bachelor of Commerce, Accounting.
Many people become distressed and lose hope after failing their KCSE exams. However, it could still be possible to get to the same dream career through a longer route. It takes a positive attitude and plenty of sacrifices, as these students have come to realize.
Kama waona kuwa haukufikisha zile grade ambazo nahitajika kuingia CPA kama C+ vile inahitajika na CASNEB, kuna nafasi pia kuanzia katika level ya chini ya ATC, ambao hata ukiwa na D ama D+ unaweza ukapewa nafasi.
Even if you get the D, yeah, that is not the end of the world. In fact, what you do after you finish Form 4 is really what determines what you are going to be.
If you start with the ATC, probably you got a grade of D or D+. You can start with the certificate level, which will take you 1 year. You achieve that certificate, and the certificate course will give you a good foundation.
For CPA, you're supposed to have a mean grade of C+, and C+ in English and maths. So to me, I didn't score a C+ in maths, and I didn't score a mean grade of C+. So I had to start with 8C because I wanted to do the accounting.
A good lesson learned from these students is that everyone can get their livelihood from the career they choose. The chief ingredients are self-confidence and willpower to follow the required path in order to reach the highest point of what they desire to pursue. A fake police officer has been arrested in the area. The KIAMBU Criminal Investigation Directorate Officer Julius Rotich and Charles Ogoti nabbed the suspect outside the Standard Chartered Bank in the town following a tip-off. The police say there were a total of 4 suspects, but 3 of them managed to escape. The suspects had posed as customers inside the bank, and the one who was incarcerated had full police uniform, handcuffs and vehicle registration plates.
Handcuffs, normally used by the police and prisons, stickers for number plates of motor vehicles. Several of them were found. These are the ones which at times are used to conceal the registration number of the motor vehicle whenever, or rather after committing a crime. So we have arrested that fellow. We are now calling on the members of the public within KIAMBU to come forward. If any of them has a case against this fellow, we have him in custody. We are also investigating him further to know what kind of offenses he has been committing. We are also on hot heels, or rather following these people, the 3 of them who ran away. We believe one or all of them may be armed.
Still on matters, security police in Nakuru have arrested whom they term as 2 most wanted criminals in the town and recovered an AK-47, 2 pistols and 581 rounds of ammunition during a police swoop conducted on Friday night. According to Nakuru OCPD Bernard Kioko, the suspects are part of a group that has been terrorizing residents, especially in Kiamunyi, Ngata Lanet, among others, and had at one point appeared before court after raiding a prominent personality's home. The suspects, who had been trailed for quite some time, are said to have led the police to a bush where they had hidden the rifle at Technology Estate, a few miles from Nakuru town. After the arrest, 2 other women alleged to have been operating as a gang's informers were also arrested.
In the process of our raids against criminal, we had an AK-47 with a 16 round of ammunition. Then there was a pistol with 3 suspects. Then there is we have also other round of ammunition, 565, 7.62 blanks that are used for training purposes. So our efforts are bearing fruits. So in Nakuru, we want to warn criminals that unless they change their tactics, then there's no room for them.
Now, 1 person has died following a fire that has razed down more than 100 houses in KIBERA. The cause of the fire is still unclear, with some residents saying it started from an electric fault. The fire is said to have started late afternoon yesterday, and efforts to contain it were hampered by poor infrastructure within the slum. Little was salvaged from the incident that left hundreds homeless. The deceased is a man, and police are investigating the circumstances of his death as well as the cause of the inferno.
Naona hata kama ni moto, mimi siamini kama ni moto, kwa maana waya imefungwa kwa shingo, katikati ya kifua na kwa miguu. Mimi siamini kama ni moto. Hiyo kama ni kesi hiyo ya moto kuua yeye na kuweka kuchoma nyumba.
Hawa watoto wamewashwa hivyo. Wengine ni wahitima, hawana mama na hawana baba. Wanakaa na nyanya yao. Nyanya yao ana gufu ingine, gufu ilikuwa kwa hii nyumba.
Nilikuwa nimelala nikasikia duru. Sikia duru kutoka tukakuta nyumba inachomeka. Mimi kila kitu, hakuna kitu kimebaki. Uniform za watoto, kuku, nini, kila kitu kilikuwa hapa, mpaka magodoro, mpaka meregeti. Hakuna kitu kimebaki. Sijaweza kuchukua kitu hata moja. Juu hata nilitaka kuingia kwa nyumba nikaona nitasomekea kwa nyumba.
Narendra Modi, son of low-caste parents from western Gujarat state, has overcome formidable obstacle and is tipped to be India's next Prime Minister. Yet, he remains a divisive figure due to his controversial past and abrasive personality.
Euphoria and adulation for the man tipped to become India's next Prime Minister. Opposition BJP party leader Narendra Modi. Ahead of the general election, he is crisscrossing the country trying to win votes. And in his hometown in the western state of Gujarat, he can rely on his staunchest support.
We don't want to vote for the Congress party or the BJP. We only want to vote for Modi.
He is not from a princely family. He is from a poor background, so he understands the needs of the poor and the middle class.
Modi's father earned a modest living selling tea at this railway station. As a boy, his son joined a right-wing Hindu nationalist movement with close ties to the BJP. Modi rose through the ranks and was chief minister of Gujarat when anti-Muslim riots broke out in 2002. He was accused of doing little to stop the violence that left more than 1,000 dead. Among the Muslim community, his refusal to show remorse has left a legacy of suspicion and distrust.
People are scared because what has happened in the past. And for people to realize a man's nature has changed, he has to make an effort to change his actions.
Loved or loathed, Modi is seen as a dynamic and efficient leader who has brought prosperity to Gujarat. He promises to revive India's flagging economy, but some question whether he could match his success in the corridors of power in New Delhi.
He comes with a lot of, hopes that he has been able to create in the minds of the cadres, the BJP cadres. They think that he has a magic wand. Now, how far he would be able to prove them right remains the biggest challenge for him if he comes to power.
Modi has overcome formidable obstacles in his climb to power. If he ousts the ruling Congress party and rival Rahul Gandhi, it remains to be seen if India's most divisive politician can unite the country behind him.